I like that starting soon song. I think I'll try and use that as my like intro music for every stream, just to have that like 3-minute buffer. And I'll browse other music. I kind of just found that on a whim. It's by an artist called Div Kid. So we should be good now. Let me check to see the stream delay. So we should be good. All right, we're cooking. All right. Let us continue where we left off. So we had decided to put the science on the bottom. I think the center of mass is on the lower side in general, so it's going to be easier to maneuver. And then we put this cone on top to give this more area to dock. Now, again, I need to constantly remind myself, we're not designing this to re-enter Kerbin. Re-entering Kerbin requires a heat shield, parachutes, decouplers, and so on. But this is designed to get into Duna orbit, deorbit onto Duna safely without burning up, and then exit Duna and bring the science back to the orbital station. That's all this is designed to do. Now, I'm trying to think, is there anything else we may need? I'm going to put an antenna on it just in case. And another thing is, as for the design, well, these guys don't need parachutes. They don't need them. As for the design, we can technically put things inside of this orbiter. Now, whether we want to is a different story. I don't think we need to. And because it's going to be so high off the surface, because it has this giant fuel tank underneath it, we are not going to worry about it. One thing we need to remember is we need this to connect to each of these. Just like that. So this center fuel tank will feed fuel equally into each one of these. We should put it at the bottom. It's also going to make it easier to align. We don't need 4 of them. We only need 2. Try and make them look as equal as possible. That's as good as it's going to get. All right, so that center tank is feeding the fuel in here into each one of these equally. Now, let's give it, that thrust to weight at 1.46 is ideal. Like we're we're looking good in terms of the amount of energy we have and the amount of thrust we have. All right, so let's start this up. Sorry, I was just drinking some soda. Let me close this in the background. Save that. All right. There's no operational SAS. So that's a little bit problematic. We may want to change that, because not having SAS is going to make it significantly more difficult. But we'll see how... Yeah, no, let's go back before we do that, because the SAS module is going to take more energy. It's making me think maybe instead of this thing, we put this thing on top and do that. It's still just not high enough. Maybe we put an RCS tank above it. Kind of like that. The 120, 160 total. Yeah, because we don't actually have any monopropellant on this thing. This is going to add another 40. $50. $60. This is going to be very interesting. This is probably the hardest thing that I've attempted in this game. Not have operational SAS. But doesn't this... Doesn't this stabilize it? I thought that this would allow us to do that. Reaction wheels active. Not sure. Yeah, holding position manually is somewhat difficult. This is giving me a good idea as to how stable this thing is, though. Yeah, it's, so what's happening now? It just lost balance. We got it back. So it's struggling to keep its head in. Yeah, we need to figure out how to get SAS functional. Not sure. Maybe if we put this below that, connected to this. I'm starting to think we should just use the command pod because, well, it's significantly heavier. It's an extra ton of weight. Oh, it's also because we don't have a pilot. That's why. Because we didn't have a pilot. being a little bit poo brain. I think both of our pilots are actually... Yeah, we may have to go and do a rescue mission. Actually, no, I thought we got... No, we just sent Kerdun to Duna. And as for Jebediah, I think Jebediah is still on the moon? Yeah, we need to do a rescue mission. As for it being career mode, these are the things you need to worry about. This thing seems to be doing all right. It's still firing off RCS though. Okay. Oh, it wants to flip. I don't know why that's happening. This should be draining. This should be draining into these. Again, if I can get this into Kerbin's orbit from the ground, then I should be able to land this thing and take off from Duna. It's a general... Once we get above 71, I'm going to start burning. All right. We just don't have it, do we? Almost. It's going to be very close. Oh, we just didn't make it. 44. If we, yeah, I mean, if we burned more efficiently, we would have made it. But I was just trying to, yeah. I'm debating about this design. It's just really difficult designing something that can, and I'm wondering if it's actually worth it. Because I think what most people do is they make a outpost on Duna and then they transmit that data to the station in orbit, and then that station transmits the data to Kerbin. Getting a lander to land on Duna, do an EVA report, and then come back up, or a surface sample, and then come back up, that's very difficult. We could do the moon of Duna. That may be way easier. I think we're gonna do that. I think this is something we're going to aim for. Getting onto the moon of Duna is going to be much more reasonable. And check the delta V for Ike. Oh, yeah. Ike is only 390 versus 1450. Way easier. And Gilly is even easier around Eve. I think we're gonna do Ike though. But that means that we need to set a station in orbit around Ike. Which is gonna be that's another mission entirely. Finish construction of a rover on the moon. I think we almost have the technology to be able to do that. Rover stuff is... No, we don't. The external command seat with the Rove Max. We do not have. And I think we need this relay antenna. I think we need this to be able to transmit data from Duna to Kerbin. I think we need this. So now I'm leaning towards launching something. Let's see the situation we've got going. I think this is where Jebediah is. I think we need to get Jebediah back on Kerbin. Yup. See, the thing is, neither of these, this was our moon mission. Neither of these can actually re-enter. This can re-enter Kerbin orbit very badly, though. I put parachutes on it, but I didn't put a... Yeah, also, there's no way to control this thing without that, so... This is basically a system just to be able to land on the moon and then come back up, right? Kind of what I'm trying to do with Duna. But also with a craft that will attach to the... We need to send a rescue mission here. We need to get Jebediah off of this. We've already harvested a lot of the... science from the Mun. I always call it the moon. It's the Mun. So yeah, we're gonna do some... We have to rendezvous with that station I was just looking at. We have to transfer Jebediah, and then we have to bring him back. That's what we actually have to do. Now, the great thing is, I have a perfect rocket that's capable of doing that, so we don't actually need to construct something new. This Munlander prototype would have been way too heavy. It's the Rescue Mark II. Yeah, this thing will be able to get us into lunar orbit. Let's go and do it. Right? We're gonna need a pilot, and that's it. And we're gonna bring them all back. Kurdun is still in Duna orbit. So, and unfortunately, we didn't bring a setup that allows us to look. I'm just gonna launch, and I'm gonna go and get Jebediah back, so we're in a better state. But yeah, we didn't bring a scientist with us to Duna, and we also did not bring any type of setup that allows us to transmit data from Duna back to Kerbin, so we can't actually get any of that science. Which is okay, to get any of that science. But it's just, it means, you know, we're gonna have to do more, basically grunt work missions, right? Right now we're doing a rescue mission because we didn't design that moonlander well enough. Making a moonlander that would be able to land on the moon and then return to Earth in one go would be amazing. But you would need like an extra stage of some sort. I've done it. I've done it before. Okay, we need this. Yeah, that's gone. The way I have this set up, this will be able to just get us into orbit. Right before it gets us into orbit, we detach it, and then we've got enough energy to get to the moon and so on. We have our apoapsis. Now we can start burning horizontally. This is a very stable build. We just let this burn low for a little bit of time, and then once we hit apoapsis, we'll have detached this weight. This does not have a docking port on it. I just realized. And we should have put a docking port on it. I'm gonna wait a second and just burn full now. Yeah, we should have a docking port on this thing. Losing altitude now? We just flipped at 83, so now we're headed back down, but we should be able... I know for a fact this thing can get into orbit, so... All right, we're set. We still got 2,000 meters per second, which is plenty to get to the moon and back. Or should I say the mun? That's going to make us slow down quite a bit, so... Or speed up, really. We don't want the moon to slingshot us too much. The mun. So we're going to do this. Yeah, this should be perfect. And there you have it. So we should be able to get, with the amount of energy we have, we should be able to rendezvous with the station. It's going to be close. It's actually going to be close. I don't think I really designed this to be able to get into lunar orbit and then make it back, because typically you want an extra stage, right? After, like, I would have another stage after this one to do all of these maneuvers and stuff. But with this orbit, we should be able to set... This is our target. And we should be able to maneuver in such a way that we have an intersect. If we do this here, then we are on the exact opposite side. We do that a little bit later. That's going to allow us to fine tune our 2.7. 2.8's looking like it. Which is very fine. Our relative speeds are going to be very high though. So we're going to need to do this burn 182 right before making contact, and then we'll be fine. All right, let's do it. I'm going to quick save right before I do it though. Because we only have 1,000 meters per second. It's cutting it real close. We can take the fuel from the station though. I don't really think we're ever gonna come back to the moon unless we do like a moon rover mission or something. I don't. Just overburned a little bit. That's gonna mess up the intersect, but we'll be able to fine tune it on approach. Yeah, if you see our orbit's a little bit when we get right here. Get right here, we need to trying to bring these two close to each other, right? But we don't want to burn too much in such a way that our periapsis goes below what it's right there, right? So we want to be careful about how we approach. So we want to do that, but then we're going to be clearly crashing into the moon, which we can adjust when we get there, right? But our relative speed is also going to be very high, so we're going to need to burn 200 and probably 250 total when we get there to even out our orbit. So let's do it. I'm up for the challenge. Trying to rendezvous in effectively one node. There's our target. Here's the problem. We're slowing down a lot in such a way that, you know what? Let's not do this node. Let's not do this node. We want to do a node like right here. This is how we want to do this. Again, we're crashing into the... Don't want to overburn, you know? I think that's going to be close enough. And then we can adjust it when we get there. This is going to be a majority of the... Our target's right there. We're coming in here. This is where the node is. Yeah, let's save here. And I think this node is going to be what we want. All right. All right. We are within range of manually doing this now. I know how to kind of manipulate our heading. And now we can look at this. We're 23 kilometers away. Got our relative speed down to what we need it to be. And that intersect is going to be coming up over there. We're going to need one more jump, really. We could push it, right? The target's right over there, right? Really want this to We want this to... See, that's lowering our intersect by quite a bit. I want to make sure we're not going into some crazy orbit that's going to send us flying into the moon, and then we have to do some type of reverse burn. Yeah, that intersect's coming down in the bottom left because we're pushing our prograde directly onto the target, which, you know, makes sense, obviously. But we're in a relatively similar orbit now. We're only like, we're not going much faster, slower than the target. So we just kind of need to burn towards the target to lower our intersect, right? We need to keep that green circle over that pink dot. That's what we're trying to do. And we're doing that by burning kind of through it. And when it's right on top of it, we can just burn straight towards the target, right? But we want to be very slow with this because we don't want our orbit to get really weird. See, we're actually headed towards we're headed to crash on the moon right now, right? If we kept this direction, we would crash on the moon. But all we want is at this point to shift our orbit in such a way that will allow us to avoid that, right? And the way we do that is in a little bit, we're going to do some more maneuvering once we're a little bit closer to the target. And we're going to just shepherd. We're going pretty fast relative to the target, so we're going to work on the retrograde this time. And we're going to burn across the retrograde, right, to lower that relative velocity. Right, while we're lowering our intersect and we're lowering our relative velocity. We went over it a little bit. We're okay though. Wasted energy. That's why we have our engine, our thrusters set to only 20%. Because these are very, very fine burns we're doing. We want that intersect to get below 100 meters, and then we're solid. Boom, we're solid. 15 meters per second heading towards the target, and we're going to intersect at 95 meters. Once we reach that intersect point, we'll set our relative velocity to 0, and then we will be effectively rendezvoused. We're just going to see that number decrease. And once it gets to, say, 200, 300, we're getting pretty close now. So let's lower our relative velocity so we can fine tune that. We can see the time in the bottom left, time to reach. By burning, we're actually increasing that time to reach. We're making our approach finer and finer as we go. Our intersect's getting lower and lower, and our relative velocity is getting lower as well. So we're almost there, and we're going to do one final burn on retrograde. We'll get within 1 meter per second. Boom. There we go. It's hard to see in the dark, but right here. All you need to do these maneuvers is the nav ball and a little bit of patience. All right, let's speed it up to 2. We're coming in really smooth now. Really smooth. We're at 2.2 meters per second, but we're not in a rush. We're not in a rush. I'd rather speed up time than come in at like 10 meters per second. Right? Because then I can fine tune right before we intersect. Once that number gets to below 30, it's going to start slowing down. And then we are going to do that. Now we're basically in a stationary orbit. Within 0.1 meters per second is like you'll move away or closer to each other, but like over a very, very long period of time. All right, so now that we're here, I'm gonna quick save. We didn't need to reload or anything, and I'm going to well, we can't dock, so that's a huge part of the problem, right? I said that on our way here, didn't I? I said I didn't put a docking port on here. Now, do we have enough fuel to get back to Kerbin? I don't think we do. See, these are the technical things in the game that you need to understand. I don't think we can actually... You can't transfer fuel between things that aren't docked. So what can we do with this situation? I don't know. I want it to be not dark, though. I don't know what we can do here. We don't have enough fuel to get back. Well, there's nothing we can do without a docking port, unfortunately. But we successfully rendezvoused. It would have been so easy to just put a docking port on this thing. Switch this out for a docking port, put 2 parachutes on the sides. That's kind of this game, though, you know? Like, if you don't prepare things right, you'll reach a point where you're like, oh, I didn't do that thing. Now I need to redo that whole thing I did. But the fact that I successfully rendezvoused here with another 584 meters per second, there's a technical possibility that we can still get out of here. It's going to be so tight, though. Unbelievably tight. And we're going to need to skim the atmosphere. We can do it. We can do it. We're good. I need to stop complaining, and I need to start realizing that we're gonna bring Jebediah. We're gonna bring Jeb home. We're gonna bring Jeb home. All right, let's switch to. We need to go to the tracking station. They're right on top of each other. It makes it impossible to. We need Mun orbit station. Mun. We need to EVA Jebediah. There's nothing we can do. Oh shit. Wait, does he have a backpack on or a regular? Hold up. Hold up. Oh, cool. You can. That's actually a really cool screenshot. I want to take that screenshot. All right. How do I get out of this view? V? Okay. Yeah, he needs a backpack on him, and I don't know how to. Oh, there's no crew in here. He's in here? Wait, what? No crew on parts? Oh, he's in here. Okay, so yeah, we don't want. Yeah, they don't need to be holding all that stuff. All they need is their backpack. All right, so let's try that again. EVA. Okay, they seem to have their proper backpack. We are going to get in right here. Does he have any science on him? Wait, do any of these have science? Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. All right, I'm back. Just had to use the restroom. Yeah, we're good, right? I was wondering if there was any science in here. There's not. There's not. We didn't do any science with that thing. Yeah. So now we have the energy to get ourselves should take less than 200 to deorbit. There we go. Okay. Man, so much shit on the screen. There we go. We do not want that. What we want is this. We do it at the right time. We can get a really low periapsis and apoapsis. So now that we have this, let's quick save. Let's line ourselves up with this thing. And let us... We're not going to run into the target, right? Yeah, we're moving away. Luckily, yeah, I never keep myself in a collision course with any other station. And we're also not going to burn into the station here. We'll burn past it. And now that we have Jeb, we can burn. Bye-bye. Yeah, that thing still has a good amount of fuel on it. Yeah, this burn should set us perfectly. Set us up perfectly to re-enter Kerbin's orbit, and we'll just have enough fuel to get this done. We need orbit. I need to set my engines to be higher, but it's okay. There we go. Boop. Yeah, let's set this to be 40. We don't need such a fine... Once we reach, we got to be careful. We can't just burn retrograde here, because we may enter the moon's influence again. We need ourselves to detach from the moon. And we have to make sure that we save all the energy we can. So I don't think I'm even gonna mess with... I'm gonna let us orbit one time. And we're gonna skim. The periapsis. How much energy is that gonna take? 228? That's what I'm saying, is like we're gonna be so close. That periapsis needs to come down so we can skim. We need to skim about 35, 36. Yeah. And that's the last of our energy. We're very, very much in that danger zone. It's gonna be a retrograde. If we can't get our periapsis below like 65, 60 kilometers, we're in the danger zone. We're not going to skim at that point. What is this? Min-miss station? Yeah, we have some things we need to deorbit. We're going to be coming in really fucking hot, though. So right before we enter, we need to... So let's... I'm saving one more time. Right before we enter... we need to burn retrograde. Because we're going at 3,000 meters per second. Periapsis is at, yeah. $57 should do it, though. And we're done. All right. We should have not put that in front of us. We should have not done that. But it's okay. Almost certain it'll miss us. Be very unlucky if it hit us. But yeah, we're going to start hitting atmosphere right now at 3,000 meters per second, which is hot. It is hot. That's going to start coming towards us. That's going to be worrisome. Yeah, periaps is at 56, so... Up. We're heating up. And our apoapsis is coming down, and our periapsis is still declining. So we will re-enter at this point. Below 60 is almost guaranteed re-entry, depending on how... It just depends on how many orbits you're going to do. That should be catching air right now. I don't know why it's not. All right, well, we're clean. 56, we're going to be catching air. It's going to take probably 3 orbits. We could have come in a little bit. I mean, I brought it down as much as we could. We could have burned down to below 50, I think. Yeah. This will deorbit over time. We're gonna need another 2 passes, I think. I was a little bit too safe. See, now our periapsis isn't going down anymore. And it's because we're above 71. There we go. Now we can speed it up. It doesn't take that long if you're able to warp. But yeah, this time we absolutely should get back in. Actually, no, it's gonna. I think it's gonna take one more after this. a little bit tedious, but we got Jebediah. Yeah, see, our apoapsis is coming down rapidly now. We're below 56. Yeah, we're not very far now. Yeah, it's a bit tedious. I should have gone for under 50 on our periapsis. Like, you will re-enter below 60, but unless you want to do like 4 burn, like, yeah. Yeah, we gooped a little bit. I might go back to that. Let's do one more pass. Need an air brake or something. If this doesn't cut it, then I'm gonna go back to the last save and make our. Yeah, you know what? Let's load that last quick save. What was it? Quick save. This is day 182, year 1, year 2. Well, let's see. If I save right now, it's quick save 12. So yeah, it was quick save 11. All right. So our periapsis is at, yeah, we need this to go below 50. Honestly, below 45. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're good. Right before we reach it, we're going to once we get to like here, I'm going to reverse burn. Then I'm going to do radial out and detach. Radial out. And then detach. There we go. And then retrograde. This is going to be more of a chunky re-entry, but it'll be okay. It'll guarantee that we re-enter and we don't leapfrog or whatever, skipping stone. But we're coming in hot. Over 3,000 meters per second is coming in hot. Yeah, that thing should not. Yeah, if you see our apoapsis, like we're gonna enter with this one. That thing should not orbit again. Put on 2 times speed. 3 times speed will be okay. The game gets a little bit weird. Yeah, that should not be up there. It just, like, when it's debris, the simulation doesn't... If we're down here, that thing should definitely be down here. Yeah, we are not going to reach... We're at our apoapsis. We are not going to... re-enter orbit at this point. And for some reason my sound bugged out. And for some reason yeah, it's the game, it's not my audio. But yeah, we're successfully re-entering. It seems like below, you want to be below like 45. Even 50 is a little bit too much. Below 5,000, I'll set the parachute. All right. Putting it to 1 speed, opening the parachute. Now that it's open, we can speed back up until we are 500. Right, now that we're at 500, speed back up. Right before landing, we will slow it down. There we go. That blew up the heat shield because we were coming in a little hot. Where are we right now? The deserts? Oh, interesting. I actually don't think I have reports from here. Interesting. Nice. Got like 3 science from that. I don't think I've ever been in the desert on Kerbin before. Yeah, you seem to get science. Recovery of a vessel returned from a suborbital flight on the moon. You get science from that just by default. Yeah, we have tons of money now. Honestly, well, tons of money. We have 1.7 mil. This costs 1.6. Research science limit? Okay, yeah, we don't need to worry about that yet. So in order to get this research, we're gonna have to upgrade it. Yeah. We should upgrade our buildings. We have a ton of Kerbucks. I don't know what the max DSN power is. Maneuver tool available. Yeah, let's do that. Launch pad's fully upgraded. Not sure what that does. Upgrade this. Yeah, let's do this as well. The spaceplane hangar. Because that amount of parts is... Yeah, I think it's all we wanted to upgrade. That was a good mission. I don't know, what does the administrative building even do? Fundraise campaign? Oh. So you can turn your reputation into money? Okay, so you can sacrifice your reputation. How much reputation do I have, though? I don't know how much reputation I have. Does it say somewhere? I guess I have 20. Oh no, they can only handle 25%. And that's what I didn't even know about this thing until right now. That's what this does. That'd be like 44,000. I mean, we have plenty of money. I don't know if like we're playing on easy mode or something. I don't know. Um, I think I'm gonna leave it here. I want to take a break before I start planning anything else. But this thing, before I launch it again, I need to make some serious changes. We need a docking port. I don't think a docking port junior can actually... We could just do that. And then it needs parachute. I don't think it really needs that many, but we'll put that many on it anyway. Yeah, so this thing can successfully get to the moon, intersect an orbit with something, rendezvous with something, rendezvous with the station, and then make it back to Kerbin safely. That's pretty significant. This is a pretty good rocket. And now we have Jebediah back. And Valentina got another level. I think having completed that rescue mission, I'm kind of tapped out. I really want to... Oh, what is this? Unknown objects. Huh. I really want to get to Duna. It seems like the best way to get to Duna is to slingshot from the moon. You use the moon to slingshot. The Mun or Minmus you use to slingshot out into solar orbit, and then you use your solar orbit to, yeah. That's interesting. I don't know what you can do with these. They seem to appear and then disappear. I don't know. I'll look into that. Are they aliens? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. I don't know what that is out there. Is that a tree? Oh, we should upgrade the runway as well. Yeah. Nice. We upgraded basically all of our buildings to level 2 or higher at this point. We need to get that sweet, sweet Duna science. That's gonna be the way that we get all of this stuff. The sweet, sweet Duna science. We already have step 1 complete for Duna, which is getting the station in orbit. But I'm really thinking that Ike is going to be what we go for. Because Ike doesn't have an atmosphere, it's smaller, and we're also going to get a ton of science, be able to get a ton of science from it. So I'll either be on later tonight or tomorrow. GG's for now. And I'll be on with either more of Kerbal Space Program or Oxygen Not Included.